Hey everyone, and welcome. If you're one of the millions of people out there who wears glasses, have you ever really stopped to wonder why? What's actually going on inside our eyes that makes us need them? Well, today we are going to dive into the incredible science of vision and find out why some of us need a little help to see the world clearly.
So yeah, this is the big question we're tackling. Why do our eyes get sight problems? And let me tell you, the answer is about so much more than just needing glasses. It's a really fascinating peek into the amazing mechanics of how we see, and what happens when that perfect system gets just a tiny bit off track.
All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll get to know our amazing eye. Then, we'll follow the journey of light. After that, we'll look at the common vision problems, check out the solutions, and finally, we'll touch on some of the more serious issues.
First things first, let's meet the star of the show, the human eye. It might look simple from the outside, but trust me, it's an unbelievably complex and brilliant piece of biological engineering, kind of like a super advanced camera.
You know, there's an ancient proverb that just hits the nail on the head. Of all the sense organs, the eye is the most important. Our eyes are truly our windows to the world, so let's take a look inside and see how they work their magic.
When you boil it all down, the process of seeing is kind of like a three-part play. You've got three main characters, each with a super important job. Think of them as the gateway, the director, and the screen. Okay, so the journey of light starts right here, at the pupil. This is our gateway. It's that little black dot in the center that lets light in. And just like a camera's aperture, it gets bigger in the dark to let more light in, and smaller in bright light to protect the eye. Pretty smart, huh?
Now, once that light passes through the gateway, it meets our director, the eye lens. This thing is amazing. It's a clear, flexible structure whose one and only job is to bend and focus that incoming light with incredible precision. It's constantly changing shape to focus on things, whether they're up close or far away.
And where's all that light going? Well, its final destination is the retina. This is our screen, a light-sensitive layer all the way at the back of the eye. For us to see a perfectly sharp image, our director, the lens, has to focus the light so it lands exactly on this screen.
So, when our gateway, our director, and our screen are all working together in perfect harmony, what does that actually look like? This is vision perfection, right here. The lens bends the incoming light just right, creating a sharp image directly on the retina. But here's a wild little detail. The image that forms on the retina is actually upside down. It's our amazing brain that flips it right side up for us. So what we see is really a team effort between our eyes and our brain.
But, as a lot of us know all too well, that perfect journey doesn't always happen. Sometimes, our director, the lens, just doesn't quite nail the focus. Let's talk about nearsightedness. What's happening here is that the lens is actually focusing the light too much. So instead of the image landing perfectly on the retina like you see on the left, it falls short. It focuses in front of the retina, and that's exactly why things far away look blurry. And on the flip side, we have farsightedness. This is pretty much the exact opposite problem. Here, the lens doesn't bend the light quite enough, so the focus point overshoots its target and ends up somewhere behind the retina. This is what makes it hard to see things clearly up close. Now, sometimes the problem isn't about where the image lands, but whether the light can even get there clearly, and that's where cataracts come in. With this condition, our director, the lens itself, starts to get cloudy, and that blocks the light's path. It's like trying to look through a foggy window.
The good news? For these super common problems with focusing and clarity, we've come up with some pretty brilliant and effective solutions to get that light journey right back on track.
So here's the bottom line. For nearsightedness and farsightedness, we use eyeglasses. They're basically an external lens that helps our eye's own director focus the light perfectly onto the retina. And for cataracts, a really common and safe surgery can actually replace the cloudy lens with a clear, artificial one, completely restoring vision.
Okay, but what happens when the problem isn't with the director, but with the screen itself? This is where vision problems can get a lot more serious. And this is the really critical thing to understand. We can help the director with glasses, we can even replace it with surgery. But if the screen, the retina, gets damaged, it's a whole different ballgame. Damage to those delicate light-sensing cells is often permanent and very, very hard to fix. So what causes this kind of permanent damage? Well, a few big culprits are pointed out. And the key thing is, they're often preventable. Things like staring directly at the sun,
Being exposed to other really bright lights for too long, or even a severe lack of vitamin A can all seriously harm the retina.
And really, that's what this is all about, isn't it? Understanding how these incredible things, our eyes, actually work. That whole amazing journey of light is the absolute first and most important step toward taking good care of them.
So, I want to leave you with this question to think about. Now that you know a bit more about the amazing and honestly delicate mechanics of your own eyes, what's one simple change you can make in your daily life to help protect this incredible sense?